Live in Studio B, Aaron Lee Tasjan, Strange Shadows from the Karma for Cheap album. And it's, I was remembering what I thought when I first listened to this record. I thought it's got a lot of hard edge in there, but there's so many different sounds as you go through the album. And I was thinking, when you told me he was from Texas over here, Brian, I thought to myself, there's very few Texas players that I've encountered that don't like to play with that edge and that boldness like that, I guess you'd say. Am I right about that? I mean,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, uh, Brian Wright is rock and I'm roll, and those two things, together. I mean, it's I think a lot of great rock and roll is kind of based on, having both of those things, and it's not something that you necessarily hear a lot anymore. The sort of twin guitar attack, especially with two people who kind of come from two different schools of thought as far as the playing goes, which is just happens to be the case. I mean, we just kind of lucked out. We were friends before we ever played together, but as soon as we did, that kind of became apparent, and that was certainly part of the impetus for recording Karma for Cheap the way that we did.
well, it definitely works. I remember one day I played that particular song, and I was thinking, what can I follow that with? Because I mean, I didn't want to just I think I chose a song from the Cactus Blossoms to follow that, and it worked great. I mean,
we love
but
them.
but that's that song has such a different texture from, say, some of the other songs on there, and this album was like a surprise, because it is a real change of gears, at least from where I sit, from your first two records.
Sure.
And is that something that you aim to do? Is like change up the texture styling of each record, or is it just you just go with the flow?
I think at a certain point, that's definitely part of the artistic process for me. I think you figure out, along the way. It's like, okay, the threads of any record really are, for me at least, are kind of the sound of the singer's voice, and a lyrical language that they develop. At least my favorite ones. When I listen to Kurt Weill's music, it's, to me, it's his voice and his lyrics more than anything. I mean, I love all the guitar stuff and everything that he does, and he has an originality with that as well. But I could read his lyrics on a piece of paper and know that he wrote them, probably. And so to me, it's like, as long as you keep that as the main part, as that's the broth of your soup, what else what the other ingredients that you can throw in, can be almost anything. So I like to do something that feels fresh and exciting, and something that's going to be fun to play every night, because that's the other thing.
Yeah, you got to play it a lot, don't you?
You got to go out there and do it night after night after night. So, I try to make stuff that, I don't get bored of easily, and just something that feels, honest and from the heart, from where I am in that moment. And that can change from time to time, because I mean, it's like, sometimes, I'll sit in my living room and listen to nothing but the Beatles, and just pull out every Beatles record I have and want to listen to only that. And then, other times I'll listen to weird krautrock music like Can or Harmonia or something like that. So, I'm all over the place as far as the music that I love. And I kind of aim to be that way a little bit too with the music that I make, so long as I keep the things about it that feel true to myself as part of the deal.
What kind of feedback are you getting from fans with this album in relation to the first two?
It's been, from fans, it's been a really positive response. A lot of people have said that they feel like it's the best one that we've made so far, which is always encouraging to hear. Better than it going the other way, I guess.
Yeah.
But
What did he do that for on this album?
Why?
After,
Yeah.
well, that's good.
So that's been really cool, and it's been really fun to take these songs out live and see the response that we've been getting there too, because a lot of this record is more, not that there wasn't energy on the last two records, but I guess just tempo-wise or whatever, there's a lot more kind of up-tempo stuff on this record, so that's been fun to to get
Yeah.
to play for people every night.
But enough of the more down tempo as well. One thing I found about this album in playing music mix every day is, if I'm mixing up a set of music and I want to grab your album and play a tune from it, no matter what feel I've already got going in the set, your one of your songs is gonna fit in there and not be like a, you know what I mean?
Great. Oh yeah,
You know,
totally.
we hosts don't like train wrecks on with our songs, and so it's pretty easy to So that's why I was asking about the sounds and styling of the album for one thing. But anyway, I'm talking with Aaron Lee Tasjan, and we want to mention again, you guys are going to be at Ambrose West in Asheville tonight.
Yes. Looking
And
forward to it.
yeah, it's a great venue. And then from here you take off to Kentucky. What I was noticing on your tour schedule is this date on December 9th,
Yeah.
the Taz Jam.
Yes.
Now, a holiday. Now, tell us a little about that. This is going to be over at Third and Lindsley, and guys will be back home in Nash Vegas for that.
Yes, indeed, we will. It's something that we are going to do at least once a year moving forward, and it's a benefit that we do for the Musicians Health Alliance, who go a long way to help musicians who don't have health insurance or who get sick and can't afford to pay their bills. I mean, it's a tough spot to be in when your work requires you to be able to physically go out and do stuff. And if you get sick and you can't, those guys are there to help out. So we like to support them all we can. We had a really brother of ours in music by the name of Ben Eyestone, who was a great drummer, played with Nikki Lane, and had a bunch of his own bands as well that were really great, who passed away, unfortunately, last year at the age of 29 from colon cancer. And so we, that hit our community super hard, and we're certainly not the only ones who are doing stuff. Elizabeth Cook has been really amazing. She made her own beer with Yazoo that you can buy and support the cause as well.
You played with her as well.
Oh yeah, I love Elizabeth, man. She's one of my heroes. And the jam is exactly what it sounds like. I mean, we'll do a set of our own music with our band that'll be live on Lightning 100 Radio in Nashville, and then we'll have a second set that will not be on the radio, but for everybody that's there at the venue, they'll get to enjoy it. And we're going to have some really cool special guests. Mr. Audley Freed and Miss Jen Gunderman will be there. Aaron Ray will be there. Lily Hyatt will be there. And there's a bunch more that I'm not remembering right now, but it's going to be a really fun night.
Yeah, Nashville, close to the holidays. A great venue like Third and Lindsley. I mean, that sounds like a jam to me.
Yes, indeed.
All right, you guys gonna do us another song from Karma for Cheap, maybe?
We are, yes. We'll do, actually, this is the last song on the record.